Hi, this is Emily Lee, part of Art from the Heart, and in this video I'll be sharing Lunchbox Notecards made with Neat and Tangled's Beary Mary stamp set and coordinating dies. This set was designed by Elena Rizakis and sold out quickly at the Neat and Tangled store, but it's now available from other online retailers including Butterfly Reflections Inc., Ellen Hudson, and Simon Says Stamp. I'm including links to all of those stores below, so be sure to grab this set before it sells out again. I haven't made any Lunchbox Notecards for my son yet this year, and I thought the bear from this set would be the perfect size because he's large for a stamped image but not too big for a tag or mini card. He's adorable, especially holding one of the smaller images in the set, and would make a sweet surprise tucked into a backpack or lunchbox. First I'm going to heat emboss all of the images, including several of the bears. I ink up the stamp with VersaFine Onyx Black Pigment ink and carefully pick them up with tweezers so I don't disturb the ink on the edges. Then I pour clear embossing powder on the ink and set it with my heat tool. I'm going to make several of these so I have them handy when I need one. I set the bears aside and stamp several of the smaller images. I like to call these stuffies because they're so tiny and they fit into the bear's paws like he's cuddling a stuffed animal. I'm stamping more than I need in case my coloring goes awry. It's nice to have extras on hand for those situations when you wish you had an extra for a redo. When everything is done, I can start watercoloring all of these images. I choose gray, brown, and green distress inks for all of the bears. My son is obsessed with Minecraft creepers and anything green right now, so I'm going to have the bears wearing green scarves. I love that these bears are so easy to watercolor. For the smaller images, I'm using 4 colors of distress ink: a different gray, a different brown, a red, and a yellow. I pretty much used all the same colors on the duplicates except for the gift. I didn't really like the combination of colors I used on the first gift, so I switched it up for the second one. There's also only one Santa mug. I'm not sure that I would use this one for my son since it reminds me of coffee, but it could also be hot chocolate. My husband might end up getting it in his lunch bag. Now it's time to die cut. I hold the dies in place with removable tape and run it through my Big Shot. I did a little die cutting experiment off camera to see if my idea would work, and it does. Since this is the back part of the note card and I want to be able to write on a completely smooth surface without the arms die cut into it, I die cut around the edges, leaving the arms uncut. Now I'm going to show you how I did it. It's definitely more time consuming, especially when you're mass producing, so it would be perfectly fine if you want to use a backing with the arms die cut into it, but I just thought it would be nicer for the recipient if the stamped sentiment or written message wasn't interrupted by cut lines. So basically I'm using the partial die cutting technique where I cut part of the die, but since I have to avoid the band in the middle which cuts the hands, I have to run this through the machine 4 separate times. Once on each side of the bear, and once above the arms, and again below the arms. I place my plate on the bottom of the bear to cut his feet, then I flip it 180 degrees to cut his head and torso. Then I turn the die 90 degrees to cut the first side, and flip it 180 degrees again to cut the other side. I just make sure that the plate does not end up on top of the bar where the hands would be cut. This prevents the 2 plates from pressing into the hands and cutting them. You can see a tiny bit of impression where the tips of the hands were pressed slightly into the cardstock, so it's not perfect like my first try, but it's still better than having the entire arms die cut into the card. I'm going to use a few different sentiments on the inside of these note cards. They'll come from the stamp sets Square Thoughts, Fractal Clouds, Hand Stitched, and Into the Woods. I'm going to leave just enough room for a short message above the stamped sentiment and a signature just below it. These first 2 sentiments are from Square Thoughts. The third sentiment is from Fractal Cloud, and I have to use washi tape to mask off one of the words to create my own sentiment, Sending Love. The fourth sentiment from Hand Stitched says, Sending Hugs on 1 line, but I want it on 2 lines, so I used washi tape again and stamped the sentiment on 2 lines. Finally, the 5th sentiment is from Into the Woods, another one of Elena's sets from the October release, and I'm combining 2 of the stamps to create the phrase, Grateful for You. I'm going to leave the other 2 note cards blank for writing in my own message, especially if I want to write a longer one. I don't need to stamp sentiments in all of them. Now I'm going to adhere the stuffies into the bear's hands. I'm using a bit of foam tape in the middle so they have dimension, and then I'm going to add a micro glue dot to ensure that they stay in place. Sometimes it takes a bit of fidgeting to get the stuffies in place, especially with the bit of foam tape. An easy way to do it is to push the arms out from the back of the bear and slide one side behind the arms one at a time. In the end, I decided not to use the gift as part of the Lunchbox Notecards because I didn't want my son to expect a gift when he got home. However, the gift would make a great bear-shaped tag, so I'll keep it for that. After all the bears are assembled, I just need to score the backs of the note cards and adhere the 2 pieces together. I use my mini scoreboard and scored just enough to accommodate a strip of score tape. If I slide the bear's feet right to the edge, then I'm scoring at the 2 1/4 mark. I flip the bear over and score it a second time so that when I attach it to the front of the card, it bends very easily when I open the note card. Then I apply score tape to the top of the heads just above the scored line. I remove the backing and attach the 2 pieces of all the note cards together. Here's a closer look at one of the cards. Don't these bears look so cute all lined up? Mass producing can be so fun and therapeutic, especially when the images are this sweet. The Beary stamp set is not only perfect for holiday card making, but it's great for year-round cards as well. Be sure to grab yours while you can. Supply links are listed below, but you can also click on my blog link below for a full visual list. Thanks so much for watching.